This here is a Wusthof Classic 7-piece knife set. Now, when they claim that it's a 7-piece set, it does have 7 pieces, 2 of which are unfortunately the block itself and the 9-inch steel. So now on to the real parts of the set. The first are the scissors, which are here. These are great because you can use them to do anything, and they come apart so you can wash them really well. They also have this part here that you can use to open a jar or something like that. Next we have the 3.5-inch paring knife. This knife is great because it has a perfect size handle, but it also is very small, so it's great for cutting or peeling things and just having a nice small handy knife. Next we have the 6-inch sandwich knife. This knife is great because it has the same structure as the paring knife, but it's a little bit bigger, so it gives you a broader surface area when you're cutting things that are a little bit bigger. The last 2 pieces of the set are my favorite. The first has to do with bread, and who doesn't love to eat bread? This is an 8-inch bread knife, and it's excellent because if you are having any sort of bread, it makes cutting the bread very easy and simple. You don't need to pinch or squish the bread at all. The way that the blade is set is that it's serrated, but especially for cutting bread. So it's very simple for you to use and easy for you to use, and you can pretty much cut any style bread, any shape, size, thinness, or thickness. The last piece, which is the highlight of the 7-block set and really makes it worth buying the set, is the 8-inch cook knife. This knife, I find when I'm preparing a meal, I wash it several different times, and I'd really like to have 2. But this knife is great because it's made to chop anything, slice, whether it's meat, vegetables, fruit, anything that you're doing. It has a great handle that gives you good control, and it has a good even weight to it. I've considered purchasing an additional one just because I love it so much. However, since this knife you typically can get for about $120 itself, as where if you're purchasing this entire set, you can get it for about $100 more. It doesn't really make sense to purchase just the cook's knife itself for $120, is where you can get the whole block set for a good price. Wusthof has several different types of lines of knives, you could say. So this is the classic set, and one that's similar in price that a lot of times is difficult to determine the difference is the Wusthof Gourmet line. And so the difference between the two is when it comes to the Wusthof Classic, these knives are actually hand forged, which gives them the excellent weight when you're using them to prepare things, and also the evenness in weight, so you don't feel like it's all in the blade or all in the handle. As where with the Wusthof Gourmet, they're actually stamped. They're not hand forged and put together here. If you can see how the blade runs all the way through to the handle. So because they're hand forged, that allows them to have longevity. They're something that you can purchase and use for many years. And they also would make a great wedding gift because they could be something that you can purchase that a couple could use for many years. So as I mentioned, you could purchase this Wusthof Classic block set for about $220, which could seem like a lot, but I wanted to show this knife that I also had purchased. This is a 7-inch Santoku Calphalon knife. This knife I purchased for $15 at Marshall's, and this knife, while it's 1 inch smaller than the 8-inch cook knife and can be used for the same things when it comes to preparing a meal, I've quickly found that despite taking great care of it, it's already begun to rust here and here. This knife does have markings in it to try, and when especially you're cutting meat, to keep the evenness and temperature and consistency. I found that I no longer use it, and it just sort of sits because I don't feel comfortable with how it's begun to rust. So I think that it's definitely worth the investment to purchase the 7-inch Wusthof Classic set, because you are getting something that is not made in China with German steel, but is actually hand forged in Germany. So to summarize, I strongly feel that the Wustof Classic 7-block set is a great investment. While 2 of the pieces are the block itself and the 9-inch steel, the other pieces that come with the set are a great investment. They will last a long time if you take great care of them and are consistent with the way that you use them. They make a great addition to the kitchen and are, especially with the 8-inch cook knife, something that you will use when you're preparing every single meal. So while it is a little over $200, you do get some great pieces that, when purchased individually, come out to more than the cost of getting the whole set itself.